So Robby, what defines a true pro for you?
Well, there's not one definition of a true professional. That's the cool thing about sports, is people come in all shapes and sizes and characters, and that's what makes it interesting. But for sure, number one is that you're good at what you do in terms of performance, especially if you're talking competitive sport, that you're one of the best guys out there. But being a professional goes way beyond that, beyond just being able to win events. There's a lot of professionals that don't even compete because they're so good at what they do. They're charismatic. They're ambassadors for the sport. They're ambassadors for the sponsors. There's professionals in some sports that aren't even that. They're bad boys and they get paid for the fact that they're not ambassadors for anything. So there's a huge gamut of different levels of sport and professionals. In the disciplines that I follow, a true professional is someone that is committed, dedicated, loves what they do, are naturally talented, hopefully enough that they're really good, and that carry that responsibility of being a professional around with them 24 hours a day. It's not something that you check out at 5 o'clock when you go home. You're representative of your sports, your sponsors, and ultimately yourself 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And that kind of commitment is really what separates the guys that are successful for a short period of time or never, and the ones that can sustain their career through thick and thin and have longevity in their careers. So.
Perfect, great. And can you remember the moment when you really felt you've gone pro, the defining moment, or what actually made you realize that you could make a career out of what you were doing?
Well, I think the difference between my beginning as a professional and most athletes today is there wasn't professional board sports, especially windsurfing, in front of me as I was a youngster. I was world champion 4 times in windsurfing as an amateur, and there still was no professional windsurfing. And it just kind of all came together at the right time for me. I graduated from high school in 1981. And that was the year that windsurfing became a professional sport. It meant we had our first 2 professional events with prize money. It's when the industry started to explode, more than one manufacturer, and people started to look at riders and go, I need him, that kind of thing. So it was really the birth of professional windsurfing, and I just happened to be the best guy and just at the right time because I was finishing school. So I stumbled into it. The first time I got a check, was the first day I went, wow, this is pretty cool. I don't know how long it's going to last. And, throughout my career, I knew that it could last a month, a year, but that there was no guarantee that it was going to last any longer. And I've tried to make myself as responsible and focused and dedicated and committed as possible to make it last if there was any chance that it was going to last. So far, so good.
And lastly, what was one piece of advice you give anyone who really would like to go pro?
One piece of advice I'd give to someone wanting to go pro is commitment. Nothing comes for free, and just being good at something isn't enough. You've got to be committed in your entirety. There's a lot of good guys out there. A lot of them probably just as good as you. Being a pro is more than just being good. It's being commercially viable, and it's being focused enough if you're competing that you really want to win more than everybody else. And that takes more than most people are willing to give. For the few that are willing to focus and commit and give, the sky's the limit.
Perfect. Thanks very much.